Repeat trainer 1, hip flexion and extension mobilizations. All right, what we want to do is drive flexion and extension of the hips. So I fold forward at my hips as opposed to bending from my lumbar spine. When we ask somebody to lean over, and we see excessive movement here, but the hips just don't look as if they're dropping back. If all of the movement comes from the back here, what we often see is either one, they just stop, okay, they don't have that hip flexion so they can't get it down at all, or two, they can get it, but it all comes from this back area. And that tells us that for somebody that has flexion-based back pain, bending over, and they feel the pain here, they're probably going to be moving from their lower back versus their hips. If we bring them onto the floor and we look at their hips and we see that the person cannot get their heel to their butt, or they're very stiff in getting their knee to their chest, or they're getting their leg up, then we can confirm that. We know that these are the motions that we want to mobilize, all right? So we're going to actually start here on the floor. So for our hip flexion, okay, the ability to sit back in the squat, I'm going to cue the client to start on their back, all right? I'm going to cue this with core engagements. I'm going to put my hands under the low back and press my back in the ground. What we can also do is use a TRX or a band and have the client push into this with their hands. What that's going to do is to give them something to brace off of, meaning I can squeeze on this thing. It's going to help me to tighten my core a little bit. And all I'm asking the client to do is lift one leg up 10 times with their core engaged. Each rep, trying to get a little bit farther. From here, we would bring the knee to the chest. Again, same rules apply. And then as we progress, we can move into more upright positions where now I'm cueing a straight leg deadlift, where I'm pressing in the wall, I'm tightening my abs, making sure my hips straight on this side, I'm reaching forward. And again, this is just the same motion of the leg, but now we're in a closed chain position, meaning my leg is fixed to the ground, all right? The same idea with the knee to chest, all right? We drop into a split squat and come back up, okay? And this would become the mobilization, all right? And it's the same thing. I mean, you could come back into a squat, come back up. You could train a hip hinge. Those are all considered to be standing mobilization because, again, it's just sitting back into that position. So the key is use ground-based exercises and then incorporate them into functional movement. And there'll be a lot of different things that you come across as well and resources that I recommend. Now, for hip extension, the drill that we like a lot to begin with would simply be to train the test. All right, for somebody that has knee pain or gets compression in the knee, what I would do is, we see that their pelvis moves up, okay, as they're pointing their heel to their butt. We would put maybe a small pillow or something under their pelvis to accommodate that, cue them to press into that area, and then pull the knee to the chest, or flex the heel to the butt with their core engaged. Right? Once they can do that elevated, simply moves to the floor, and have them do that again with just core engagements. Progression from there, you can come into a half kneeling position where I'm digging my hands in the ground, or digging my back foot into the ground. I can hold on to something to brace my core. I lean forward, tighten my butt cheek on the back leg here, and I'm feeling a stretch here in the down leg. We want to make sure that the client stays nice and upright. So we're pushing forward, everything looks like it's moving together, as opposed to the client leaning forward excessively or leaning forward excessively here. All right, so cue that with core engagement. The way that we progress that would be to simply bring the heel or elevate the foot or prop the foot up on a chair or a bench. And again, if the client moves too far or they're not using their core, they're going to feel this in their low back. So we're training disassociation of this movement as well. So again, cueing the client, tighten the butt cheek, tighten their abs, and lean forward. Sometimes it's useful to have them squeeze like a ball or something like that to help them to grip and squeeze here. So that's something that you might consider as well. And eventually, we can move to standing positions where, again, we reincorporate functional movement in a split squat. But that is anything that involves the upward motion of a squat where I'm extending. So I come down and I extend my hips forward.